Yes, yes, yes. Check it out. On my podcast, I have this little podcast called The Science of Getting Rich, and I try to just to take all the shit in my mind and just dump it on people. And a lot of those people are entrepreneurs or people that are, I'm a stock trader, I'm a professional investor. I say professional, I make money from it. That's the definition of a professional, right? There's no being an investor and often being an entrepreneur, there's no like certificate or oh, hey, you're now qualified, or hey, you can now invest in stocks, or hey, you could now go buy real estate. Now, you could get a real estate license, I guess. I guess you could go to college for economics, but truth is, I've never met an economics professor that is a famous stock trader. I'm sure there's some, I can't remember any. Most of them I meet are just normal people. They worked at UPS. One of the richest guys I know worked at UPS, and then he started storage facilities, and he grew it into like 1,500 units, and I think now he's at almost 2,000 units. He's worth 20 million bucks. He drove for UPS. I know another guy was a janitor, and now he has over 100 houses. I know a guy that worked for FedEx who in the 1980s just driving at work and hears the money flow. He's paying attention to everything around him. Over the radio, they come on and it's Tyson Chicken, and they need chicken farmers in the area. And he never ever thought about being a chicken farmer. And they offered, all you needed was $1,000 and willing to get up and go to work. And you could start a franchise. And now he's worth like $40 million and one of the largest chicken farmers in his area. The point being, those things come to all people. The Science of Getting Rich says that young people get rich, old people get rich, poor people, like people of all walks and all areas that live in all different places. It's a mind game. It's a mindset. And for me, it helps me. Maybe it's my experience and time in the military. I did 7 years in the Army, worked at a prison for 3 years. So that's kind of an environment, you might say a harsh environment. And it helps me to compartmentalize information like that. So like I see myself as like a king, like I'm overseeing my little empire. Like I got to make all this shit work. I'm accountable for this. The king, heavy's the head that wears the crown. And it means that responsibility, like the richest people in the world have the most responsibility. And if you go through life avoiding responsibility, not wanting to wear that crown, not wanting that, looking for the easy way out, you're taking this because of the benefits, instead of following your dream to do this over here, because there is no benefits. No shit. The king has to give the benefits. He doesn't get them, or queen. And so that path is hard. This is why the country's run by like 7%. The owners of assets run the country. Everyone else works for them. And so you have to understand that system, and it is rigged, dude. It is rigged. It's rigged to the owners. The owners of assets that produce cash flow and income that appreciate. 4 things are going to steal your wealth. Taxation. Don't you think the owners have figured that thing out? Taxation. Inflation means rising prices. They've figured that out. How? They invest in assets that rise in price. Stocks, bonds, real estate, businesses. Businesses pass along inflation to their customers by raising their prices so that the people that own the business and the shareholders and the people getting the dividends, their dividends go up. Comcast just raised their dividend 9%. Thank you for paying your Comcast bill. The owners of assets. And so if you don't own assets, you don't own a business or invest in business. You don't have to own the business. You don't have to work there. You could just invest in it. That's the beautiful thing of the stock market. There's only 3 ways to get rich, dude. Don't get it twisted. It's not that fucking complicated. Work at a business. This is a slow path. Can be. Own a business. That's the rocket fuel. That's the people that get the richest. They own the whole damn thing. The Jeff Bezos, the Mark Zuckerbergs, but all the way down to the dry cleaners in your area, or the guy that owns the 3 restaurants or owns a bunch of rental properties like I do. The owners of assets. Those guys, that's rocket fuel. That builds your wealth bigger than any. But you can invest with them. The beautiful thing about the public markets, the stock markets, is average people could take money from their labor and do the same thing and invest it into business. And then you had the 1600s, 1700s, as the stock markets come about and the bond markets and the ability for average people to invest and collect return. What does that do? It puts you on fire. Changes the financial dynamic. It changes the landscape of who can be rich and who's poor. The owners of land, the landlord, right? And so as you begin to see this, pillar number 7, see the big picture, as you begin to see how this world of money, how it turns, how it evolves. But the owners of assets. But the trick to money is just not needing the money. Like you have to make so much money that you have chunks of money that you don't need, you can just invest it. And that's where people get it messed up because they're living paycheck to paycheck. They make too little money. This is why in my first book, You Don't Have to Die Broke, one of the key core themes to this book is you have to get a side hustle. You need something making you money and you don't need that money so you can invest that money and you can compound on rocket fuel. Because if you're getting 2-3%, these little bitty percents, or in your 401k, they're banging you for fees and you're not keeping up with the market. You need ways of getting 20, 30, 40, 50% returns, but the system was set up where it'll tell you can't beat the index, can't beat the market. Really? Mark fucking Zuckerberg beat the market. I think Mark Cuban beat the market. I can just go down the list, thousands. Just because a lot of other people fail doesn't mean you have to fail. Just because most people are stupid when it comes to the stock market doesn't mean I have to be stupid. I could actually get fucking skills. I could spend my time reading and studying and become fucking smarter than everyone else. And then what? And then when they all panic because it moves by fear and greed, I step in and buy it. Or I buy houses when another guy blows out and I buy it at foreclosure. And his problem becomes my opportunity. And I do that because I go looking for them. Like I wake up with the intent of finding them. And so I'm scouring, I'm looking. But that started because I got money that I didn't need. The trick to money is having money you don't need. So I saved up 10, 15, 20,000, whatever. That's my down payment. And now I'm looking like a shark. I'm hunting. Being an entrepreneur is hard. And you can do that while you work a job. The richest people I know had jobs and then got rich. Why? Because they leveraged. They saw the big picture. They understood the system, that the 7 run the 93. And you get to pick a fucking side. You choose what side you're on. The 7% or the 93. You choose. You choose every fucking day with the decisions you make. How you spend your money. Where you go. How you fucking vacation. Everything you do decides that. Every minute of the day. And most people live every fucking day to be on the 93. Every decision they make is to stay poor. That's the truth. Don't think so? Open up your checking account. Let me see. Let me see what the fuck you bought. And you're going to see a lot of shit. A lot of things that are way more important than becoming part of the 7%. The asset owners, the people who control the planet. And guess who they turn to when they're all broke? And the socialists. And guess who they go to? Guess who they go to when they need money for their stupid fucking programs? Guess who they go to? People like me. And hopefully you. People who gave enough, should we say fuck enough? Who gave enough to get up and say, well, how's this game work? I don't want to be a cog in the fucking wheel of this game. How's this thing, the money game, work? And you begin to realize that it's about having money you don't need. And then taking that money and putting it into assets, which requires fucking knowledge. Which assets? How do they produce return? How can I do this? What if I could put my hands on the asset? Could I get more? Can I beat the indexes? Of course you can. Or you can just stay in the fucking wheel, keep working for them, use their dumbass payment retirement systems that you don't actually understand who runs it or how it works or how they pay you. You just keep going down that path and do that. And then let me know when you're 65 fucking years old and you are broke. That's why the title of my first book is You Don't Have to Die Broke. Because it's a choice. You chose yesterday and the day before. Let's go back a month and a fucking year and let's see. We can see. Print off the checking account. I can see where the fuck your heart is. But you want to get rich. Anyone can get rich, regardless of age or race or your fucking skin color. It's a choice. It's what you do with the money that you're given. The Bible says some people are given 1 talent, some are given 2, and some are given 3. And at some point, you're going to have to give it a return. You're going to have to give an account. You're going to have to stand before the universe or the creator or whoever, or just yourself. Your fucking deathbed. You decide. You're the jury. You either laid it down or did what you're supposed to do. And that decision is made every day. It was made yesterday, and last week, and last fucking Thursday. You made these decisions. And anybody can break into that shit, regardless of age or race or financial situation. It's fucking mindset. And then it's taking that shit from here, from formless substance, holding it and bringing it and manifesting it into the real world. And it gives evidence. You will have evidence if you do this path. There will be shit around you, shit falling out of your pocket. When you walk into the room, everyone gets more prosperous. That's how it works. And the opposite of that is the guy that walks in the room and you're like, jeez, what's he want? Drains and takes from people. See, part of the idea of the science of getting rich, of this idea, is that you give value. And the more value you give more than people ask for. You give people more than they ask for. That's the secret to business. Duh. Make better food than you're charging for. Provide better service than you're charging for. And guess what? People come back and want to do business with you. And we can tap into that by owning the business or investing in the business. And make money and get rich. Shit's available to anyone. You got to decide. You want to be part of the 7% or part of the 3%? Your actions today, yesterday, today, and tomorrow dictate that. I got to go push.